Another hot-button issue, which Dr. King was passionate about, was the war in Vietnam, a conflict that was dividing the nation into pro-war hawks and anti-war doves.
The aim is to build a powerful peace bloc that can really have influence in the 1968 elections. And we must make it clear that we aren't going to let our political forces and the politicians ignore Vietnam in 1968. This must be an issue if that tragic war is still going on. And so as the war hawks escalate the war in Vietnam, we must escalate our protest against the war.
We're afraid of anything that's different. And until we conquer that fear, until we can look at something that doesn't look like us and not have preconceived notions about who and what that is, we're always going to be in the middle of a war of some sort or another.
I came to the Senate in January of 1967. I was elected in November of 1966. And in many ways, that was the very height of the conflict over, the internal conflict here in this country over the war in Vietnam. You know, as I look back on it, that's still the most turbulent, difficult time in my public experience. I can still see the faces and the hatred that went before some of the anti-war demonstrations. And that's not to say that they were without merit, but it is to say that there was a feeling in this country of absolute hatred among individuals, by individuals against the government against individuals. It just was a terrible time. And to this day, I can still call up and feel the hatreds that permeated our public life at the time.
The American people had lost faith in that war effort and could no longer see a clear purpose or a clear mission. And we were no longer just advisors, it was now our war. And we were losing lots of young Americans fighting in a war that it was increasingly clear would be difficult to win.
Walter Cronkite was right. He said the war is unwinnable after a while. He had been for it too.
But I oppose the war in Vietnam because I love America. I speak out against it not in anger, but with anxiety and sorrow in my heart, and above all with a passionate desire to see our beloved country stand as the moral example of the world. I speak out against this war because I am disappointed with America.